Hello and welcome to a brand new installment of Nintendo News Report for Wednesday, June the 5th, 2019. I'm Donald Terriel, and I'm currently freaking out over the possibility that we're going to get another Fire and Fighting Pokemon starter. Joining me this week is our resident Mewtwo fan, Justin Brube.
What's up, everybody?
And also joining us is our Pokemon expert of the modern day, Alex Galafi.
Howdy.
Yeah, so we have one big thing to talk about here, maybe hit a couple small things, but after we deal with all the news, we'll go right into previewing E3 because that's like 5 days away now. Oh God, I'm 72 hours away from being at the airport.
You excited?
I'm more nervous than anything.
Okay.
I also had worried that somebody from a certain company was going to come up and try to sock me one at the Indie Mix event, but hopefully that won't be happening. All right, but big story of the day, of course, is the Pokemon Direct that happened this morning, about 15 minutes long as they promised, and reveals that Pokemon Sword and Shield will be launching on November 15th. That's about a week off of what I was thinking, given how late Black Friday is this year. Uh, showed off some of the new Pokemon. The gyms are the stadiums, as I think we pretty much called when the games were revealed. And it is possible to experience a new phenomenon called Dynamaxed, which makes the Pokemon basically into kaiju.
Yeah, but can you Dynamax and Mega evolve at the same time?
Very good question. We probably won't find out until the post game of Sword and Shield, though.
Because that would be crazy.
I'm actually not a fan of them switching up the mechanic each gen. Like, first there was Mega Evolutions, and it's like, okay, Mega Evolutions, that's an interesting idea. Some people liked it, some people didn't. Then they are like, okay, no, we can't have the stat enhancers, or that's what I was guessing they were saying. It's too hard to balance. So in the next one, we're just going to provide alternative Pokemon in the Alolan forms. And then this one,
No,
they're going
and Z moves.
and Z moves. So it seemed like that was like a course correct a little bit from Mega Evolution. And now there's Dynamax, which is completely different, but also exactly the same as Mega Evolution. And I don't know. It seems like it's too much unnecessary crap in a franchise which I remind you is nearing 1,000 Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to seeing whatever the 1,000th Pokemon is. It's probably not going to happen just this generation, but that has to be something special. And I wonder if they have it pre-planned out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what was the last big, like, what's Pokemon 500? I was going to say Pokemon 666, but I don't think we need to worry about Pavilion here.
National Dex.
I think I want to, it's Embor,
Okay.
the firefighting starter of Black and White. That's your 500.
Nice.
Right, because it could have been, originally would have thought it would have been the water starter, but then I remember they stuck Victini in right before the starters in that generation for some reason.
Yeah. We saw a lot more of this game today.
Yeah, like the fact that there won't be random encounters anymore. Like they'll be there sort of in the form of the shaking grass, but they're showing Pokemon in the grass, and then there are these wild areas or wild area, it could seem to be singular, where the Pokemon are just running around and you can get into max raid battles. Yeah, 4 players with revelation that there will be bots if you don't have four randos or 4 friends to jump in with. We think we're not sure about the friend battles part because we still have to ask that question in 2019. And those you'll fight these Dynamax Pokemon and actually have the chance to catch them in a giant beach ball.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, he just dropped a lot of stuff, but I want to say I'm kind of happy that the random encounter stuff is gone. I never liked that, so I'm happy to see like, oh, there's where a thing is, because I hate when like you're trying to do some exploration and you just keep getting distracted by battles. And
So Let me get this straight though. Just we're talking about the wild encounters. Is it confirmed to be all Pokemon you can see and wrestling grass and that's it? Or will there so there's gonna be no wild Pokemon battles of the past as we know it?
Seemingly, like in one of the examples that they showed on a Twitter post, I believe it was for either from NOA themselves or the Pokemon Company, was that you would lure Stuffle out with a whistle.
Mm. Okay.
So there will be some ways to sort of interact with that in the wild. We'll have to see how that goes, but that's, I mean, granted, I haven't beaten Let's Go, so I'm probably the wrong person to say, but I don't know. I just see it'll take some getting used to see Pokemon in the wild like that. You can just walk up to.
No, I really like it because if there's things like you don't want to bother with, you can just skip them. And I believe you can also see if they're shiny just by walking by them anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
at least in Let's Go, that's how it worked. Uh, yeah, so I'm real excited for that. And this, just looking at this game in motion seems like it runs smoother than the past Pokemon games, and that could have been some of the hardware limitations of the 3DS. But
Mm-hmm.
my biggest complaint about a lot of the Pokemon games, and we don't really have confirmation of this at all in what we saw today, is the games aren't snappy enough. There's so much downtime and loading the battles and going through menus and stuff like that that always seemed like it chugged a little bit. Like sometimes when you click menu options, there'd be like a slight delay before things actually processed. It felt like, and that always got on my nerves. And I'm hoping in this game there's a way to just, or it's just made so everything is snappier and less downtime and stuff like that. Because that over the course of a long RPG, having to go through that so many times, it's just not fun. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how you guys feel about that.
Well, if the encounters are as it seems, where it's going to be let's go-ish in nature, where you approach Pokemon, I think that'll have a huge positive effect on the pacing of the game, because you can choose how many wild encounters you actually want to get into. If you're just someone who wants to speed through the game, it seems like you can do that. If it seems like if you don't want to speed through the game and you just want to explore and capture Pokemon at your own pace, it seems like it'll be good for that too. But whether they fix those problems or not, Justin, I think the wild encounter thing is going to be huge on its own.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And the wild area looks like a lot of fun too, and how it's gonna change Pokemon depending on like the weather and stuff like that. I think they said.
Yeah.
It looks like they're trying to Ocarina of Time Pokemon.
Yeah. Sir, yeah, because that really was giving me Hyrule Field vibes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it just seems like it's dropped in the center. I mean, I'd have to look at the map again to try and figure out where that is. But it does seem like something a little different that hasn't been in Pokemon before, and it's not like some of the other things they like shoehorn into the series and are like, look what's new in this game. And it's like nobody cares about making Pokemon movies and all this stupid stuff that they always add. That
Mhm.
those type of things. This seems like it's actually an addition that's going to matter and be fun.
Mhm. I agree. I think the wild area is going to be cool. I think the max raid battles as we is really smart, and I think it encourages people to play locally together when such a thing is not necessarily guaranteed anymore. And um, it seems like people really enjoy the raids in Pokemon Go.
Mm-hmm.
So why not here?
Yeah, to me, this seems like a way to bridge people over from Let's Go into the main series a little bit because people are familiar with raids. Since that's a feature missing in Let's Go, it's kind of like, hey, if you want to do like raids in like a game that's not Pokemon Go but still Pokemon, you could do it here. And that also seems like another thing. Like people doing raids in Pokemon Go might finish a raid and be like, hey, do you want to do a raid in Sword and Shield? Because everybody's already there. So it might be a good way to kind of advertise. Have one person who bought Sword and Shield advertise other Pokemon Go players during a raid or something like that. So I think
Mm-hmm.
it's very smart to have that feature baked in.
Yeah. Just again, the big question here, because they emphasized, online, they emphasized local multiplayer first, which means, are they going to leave out that one important step that we know that Nintendo has already botched once this year?
I thought they said it would work online. I thought there was a whole thing like it said at the bottom like you need to have a.
You need Switch Online, but
Yeah.
the question is, are you going to get randos only, or
Okay.
are you going to be able to hook up with friends? Now, granted, the Pokemon Company, like the Pokemon games, they have a history of working well with built-in friend systems, like on X and Y with the PSS system, but whether that's going to get carried over to Sword and Shield, we apparently have to wait and see on that. And if I get a chance to try one of these next week, I'm definitely gonna be I'll throw the question out if I have to. Are you gonna be able to do this with friends?
Yeah, definitely. That's something we do need to know, and it might be something they're kind of hesitant to answer at this point because maybe after seeing the backlash from the Mario Maker 2 stuff, they might be scrambling to get it in if it's not already.
Yeah. So they showed that off. They showed off some of the new Pokemon and some of the characters in the game, like the professor, who I swear to God is Queen Elizabeth,
Mm-hmm.
and her daughter, her granddaughter, who is apparently a Phoenix Wright character.
Mm-hmm. That's Sonia
Sonia.
and Magnolia, Professor Magnolia and Sonia. And then there's Leon, who's the champion of the Galar region and has never
And
been defeated in an official Pokemon battle, much like that guy from like Red and Blue who had, what was it, like a Voltorb or something, and like won on 99 fights in a row. This was near familiar.
I think it was AJ, the Sandshrew. Like, I
Yeah.
think they put him from the anime, and I know they put him into yellow.
Okay. Okay.
Get back
So
in the water.
Yeah, and Leon apparently using a Charizard as his ace right now, because I don't think they want to reveal what the Sueda Legendary of the game is going to be yet.
mm-hmm. Yeah. And then there's the brother, which is Hop, who will become one of the player's rivals. And I guess all this stuff is fine. It seems like there was a template for Pokemon that was established in X and Y and refined in Sun and Moon, and it feels like Sword and Shield is going to be a further refinement rather than being like a huge next step, like Generation 1 to Generation 2 to Generation 3, 6, 7, 8. It seems more gradual. But then again, once you have full bodied Pokemon trainers, which they had in Sun and Moon, how much better can you really make the trainer character look?
Yeah, and I don't know what that outfit Leon's wearing. It looks like I don't know if that's supposed to be a soccer uniform or something.
Because arena sports are very big in the UK.
Yeah. So they showed off those are the new characters. Obviously, we haven't met the people you'll be chucking milkshakes at in that game as of yet, but hopefully, probably soon. The legendary Pokemon Zaxian and Zamazenta. I think
Mm-hmm.
and they look to be both Seal types. Obviously, they're wolves based on the Sword and Shield. And we got abilities and some new Pokemon introduced as well, including a snapping turtle and the cutest sheep you ever saw.
Wooloo.
I like the
Woo!
what was that one's name?
Corviknight, the big steel flying thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and actually,
Finally,
go ahead.
I was gonna say it's finally something to put Skarmory out of a job.
I was thinking Skarmory, but what was interesting is looking at the press release now and then seeing that it says it is said that Corviknight is the strongest Pokemon living in the skies of the Galar region. It can often be seen fearlessly soaring through the air. Many say that any Pokemon foolish enough to challenge Corviknight are sent running with just a sharp glare and a cry from this fearsome Pokemon. Does this seem like it's gonna be an like a pseudo legendary?
Yeah, I almost wonder if it's gonna be. It's probably gonna be pretty like it'll probably be really powerful, but I think it's going to be like a single stage, maybe a mid to late game thing,
Like,
kind of like Skarmory was when it debuted.
but you don't think this is like a Latios thing?
No, they wouldn't be going that strong this early on, I think.
Okay.
And Douglas in the chat asking where we think the Elite Four will be revealed. Probably not until the game comes out.
Oh no, probably like a week before the game comes out, and they have some blowout trailer giving you all the information on the game.
Yeah, they're the spoiler ban is lifted like a week before the game comes out. If you remember, what was it? It was the Ruby
Sun
and
and
Sapphire. No, yes, but also the Ruby and Sapphire remakes where they revealed the entire post game like a week before the game came out. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I wouldn't surprise me to know this before the game came out.
Right. Wooloo looks very cute. Corviknight is probably the one I'm most excited about as far as the new ones go. I don't know what it was though, but from watching the first trailer to now, I have a very different perspective on which starter I want. Because originally I was Team Score Bunny. Like that was the one that jumped out to me in the initial trailer. But now I'm starting to think maybe I'm a Grookey kind of guy. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously the starters have the abilities that the starters always have.
Mm-hmm.
So more Overgrow Blaze Torrent stuff. I'm kind of curious to see what else is going to be in there. Just maybe start building my teams because I'm the person who on his first run through will always try to use nothing but new Pokemon.
Right.
Well,
and hope.
I'm the guy who gets both versions and has all three starters no matter what. But I always go water starter, so I'm going Sobble, and I'll just transfer over my other Pokemon to another Switch. And here's the real trick, guys. What you do is you transfer the two over, but you have to restart the game once to get the third one. But once you level that Pokemon up through playing through the first game, you throw them back to the old game, and you just body the whole game as it's like 70 or whatever. Phase.
Whatever allows you to enjoy your video game, Justin.
It does. Yeah. It does. I mean, I don't really play through the second version all the time anymore, but when you do, and it can just like one shot the entire game, it feels pretty good. I will say.
I bet.
Yeah. Also, this wasn't announced at the time, but because it got a release date, Pokemon Sword and Shield are now on the voucher list. So once those games are available for preload, if you have the Switch Online vouchers, you'll be able to cash those in for Sword or Shield. So between E3 pre-orders, which are up right now, and the vouchers, I should be able to get both games for less than retail, which is always good.
Yeah, I mean, I still have Gamers Club unlocked, so I use that to get the double pack for like $102. Plus, Best Buy is giving like $10 back in rewards, so I feel like I'm robbing somebody with these games.
Yeah. So what are the what version are we thinking about as like, so Justin, you told me you're going to get both, but do you have a preferred one of the two?
I haven't decided yet, and I'm probably going to have to talk to my girlfriend and see what version she's going to want to play, and I'll just take the leftover. That's how it usually goes. I don't really care that much most of the time. But yeah, I don't know. I got to think about it. I know everybody's like all on board with the legendary with the sword in its mouth.
It's pretty cool.
It is cooler, but like maybe I want the more rare Pokemon because it seems like everybody's gonna go for that one. So
yeah, I'll probably do what I did with Sun and Moon, which is I will preload Sword to start playing it right away, and then once Shield, and then I'll play Shield once it comes in physically.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're watching this, I wouldn't let the legendary be the decider fully. I mean, it probably helps a lot, but usually within a few months, the Pokemon Company releases codes or special events so you can get the other one. So
yeah, or they just make it available Like maybe they're both available in the same game, like post game event or something.
Yeah, something like that could happen too. So I mean, it's not like you're not going to get the other one eventually. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's also fun to take sides. I'm Team Sword personally. It's a dog with a sword in
Yeah.
its mouth. I wonder if our buddy Mister Mr. Turner, Mr. James Turner, if he designed those, because it kind of seems like it's a little bit of his style in those.
Yeah.
James
And
Turner's
the
the art guy now. He's leading the art.
Yeah, and he was in the direct, which I think one of the very few times, I think that was the first time I've ever seen him on camera.
Mm.
Yeah,
He's living in Japan, I think.
Yeah, he works at the Game Freak office.
Yeah. Justin, what were you saying?
I was just agreeing. Yeah, I think
Oh,
he's
okay.
a game.
All right. So any other things to say on Sword and Shield?
We
My hype
went.
level has increased. I will say that from today's presentation. I was kind of just like, it's coming, whatever. But now I'm like, well, now I'm a little more interested. It looks like Pokemon is actually evolving a little bit. I may eat those words in a few months, but right now, kind of excited. And I haven't been excited for a Pokemon game like this in a while.
Yeah, I liked Sun and Moon quite a bit, but I feel like the linearity that people criticize those games for, very well earned. This seems like a much more open, or at least somewhat more open version of Sun and Moon. Like it's the Hyrule Field type wild area. I have high hopes for it.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
well, I can't wait for November 15th.
Yeah.
Although knowing my luck, they'll put Dragon Quest 11 out like 2 weeks before. That
you
that would be such a Nintendo move.
I feel like that's going to be a September release, but we will find out.
either September or early next year, but I don't think it's going to be in the middle.
No, they've already said it's fall. So,
Okay.
and I can't see it getting delayed at this point because I know they were working on a different version of UE4, but I think they should be caught up at this point, especially if they delay that into 2020. Japan especially is going to freak out.
Okay. Word.
So, all right. So some other things have happened since we last convened here. Uh, Smash Brothers Ultimate has VR support for some unknown reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Justin, have you had a chance to try this?
No, I haven't. It doesn't even seem that interesting, honestly, and I love Smash Brothers. Why would I want to do this? I don't know. I can't play with a GameCube controller. I can't play online. It's like I could play against computers, I guess. Can you watch videos? People shot that way?
You, you I don't believe you can watch videos with it. I think you can set up like four player CPU fights and sort of watch them from the front row, but that's about it.
Why would I want
Or
to do
you
that?
can do a one-on-one.
So you can't fight,
Yeah.
presumably.
I think there was like you could do a one-on-one fight, but
Okay.
you can't do any more than that.
Got it. Okay.
So, okay, completely gratuitous. Also, you can set up a lobby with an amiibo fighter and send them out to train that way.
I think that's kind of cool, but I don't know when I'd be using that. It's like something I'd like to get into, but at the same time, who's going to do that with me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm glad they added amiibo support, and I'd like to see tournaments, like maybe like side events and stuff like that, where it's like a doubles event where you have to fight alongside your amiibo. I think that would be interesting.
Mm.
Be a nice format change for Evo next year. So a listing in Europe from their intellectual property office has revealed that Square Enix has applied for a trademark for Collection of Mana. Given Square's recent history, I'm kind of dreading what this could be. Because it should be the collection that came out in Japan like 2 years ago, but I'm worried they're just going to port the remakes of the first two Mana games to Switch and leave it at that.
You don't think they're going to try to have some sort of parody?
Like I don't think they're gonna. I wonder what would cost more for Square to localize Seiken Densetsu 3, Secret of Mana 2, or to just move Adventures of Mana and Secret of Mana onto one package for Switch.
Okay. I think Capcom wins the Lazy Award. Actually, no, that's not even true. They got the Lazy or Greedy Award with the Resident Evil collection, but they were doing all right with the Mega Mans. Does Square Enix have a history of the quality of their port collections?
They haven't really done a whole lot. I mean, but then again, this is the same company that charges 20 some odd bucks Canadian for Final Fantasy 9.
Yeah.
So they
Mhm.
so that if more likely they would sell it individually.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And in classic console news, Sega actually is going to have 42 games on the Genesis Mini, including apparently 2 homebrewed games, a version of the original Darius, and in a game inspired by the Mega Drive version of Tetris, which sold about 10 copies before getting yanked off shelves for legal reasons.
That's cool. It sounds like this
Yeah.
is going to be a really nice fan console.
Yeah. Although I do have to question the logic of putting the Genesis version of Virtua Fighter 2 in there, but they've got the relevant Fantasy Stars, they've got the Monster World 4, Strider, Road Rash 2. Most is forgiven for those.
Mm-hmm.
I can put up with Virtua Fighter 2 in that case.
Yeah.
And hey, they're also going to have Mega Man: The Wily Wars, which
that's kind of cool. I've always wanted to try that.
Yeah.
So are we gonna get one, Justin? Are you interested in getting one?
No, I'm not getting one. The only thing I really want on there is Wily Wars.
Mm-hmm. And then
I pre-ordered mine.
Cool.
Well,
yeah.
The only weird thing is going to be trying to find those 6-button controllers.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm not really in the mood to try and play a 6-button fighting game on the Genesis pad.
Announce expansions for it too, or?
They're entirely cosmetic, but on the Japanese live stream where they announced some of the games, they showed off a model, parts that actually plug into the Genesis Mini that don't do anything, but you can build it has a Sonic and Knuckles and then a 32X, and then you put a Mega CD below it, so you can have your own little tower of power. And it probably will end up being about the size of a Switch when it's docked.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention, but I thought those actually added games from each expansion.
That would be cool. It'd be interesting to see Colibri, the finest hummingbird based shooter on the 32X, come back from one more time, but
Oh well.
Yeah. So that'll be out in September. So all right. So no real getting around it anymore here. Let's talk E3.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So a few days ago, I asked people on the NWR Patreon, patreon.com/NWR, recently updated, to give us some predictions for what they think would happen at E3. And I think running these down will give us a good idea of what we can things to talk about here. And I asked for one of 3 different types of predictions: a safe one, a risky one, which is basically something you think could happen, but maybe not as likely, and something that was completely insane. And and just to say, shout out to GX, who we asked for one, he dumped 20. So I've chosen a sampling of his just to cover it off here.
Should we do ours first and then
yeah,
so that way we don't feel trumped on our own show?
Yeah.
Someone stole our idea.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll give my safe prediction first here. Animal Crossing for Switch is Q1 2020, March 27th.
So you think that's the announced game that's going to get delayed?
Well, we know, because seemingly everything else has a release window now. The Pokemon's in, and what they have said is that Luigi's Mansion 3, and Animal Crossing are both going to be fiscal 2019. Luigi's Mansion 3 got a rating recently from I think the Korean ratings board. So that's probably sooner than a lot of people think, and I don't think they're going to miss October with it. So at that point, I think we're looking at Animal Crossing being a big tentpole game for a quarter that historically Nintendo has ignored largely with the Switch, aside from when it launched.
So like March?
Yeah, like March, or maybe even February, but March is more likely, I think, for this.
Cool.
All right. And Justin, what do you got for your safe prediction?
My safe prediction has a couple layers to it, but this is what I think will happen.
Mewtwo and Smash.
Well,
already there.
I made that happen. Everybody can thank me that Mewtwo is in the last Smash Brothers. But we can go into that again another time. But what I think will happen at E3 is in Super Mario Maker 2 at the tournament, we will learn that there's going to be a Super Mario Brothers 2 theme.
That's safe?
I think that's safe.
Now, do you mean Lost Levels Super Mario 2?
No. Super Mario USA.
But Super Mario 2 USA.
Okay,
and,
so Doki Doki.
Yeah, so that's going to be one of the other themes right next to the 3D World one, where it's like a special thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And by the way, Justin, Dan from Canada agrees with you on that.
Yeah, and
that was his prediction.
Okay, good. I was afraid somebody would say that. I'm going to go in a little deeper, too. This may be revealed at E3. Online friends matches coming at a later date.
Mm-hmm.
And at the tournament or E3 itself, as a special item, you can get the stylus. And that's the only way you're going to be able to get it in North America.
It's just by going to E3?
Yeah, or the tournament.
Nice.
Those are my safe predictions.
All right. And Alex, what's your safe-ish prediction here?
Mine is way more safe than you guys's. But my theory is that Animal Crossing will be like New Leaf, but with HD and a little more stuff, not unlike Wild World: The City Folk. This follows the trend of Splatoon 2 kind of being built on top of the Splatoon foundation. Mario Maker 2 kind of feels a little bit like it's built on the foundation of Mario Maker. Smash Ultimate kind of feels like it's built on top of Smash 4. They are valid sequels, but I think these half-step sequels that we've been seeing a lot of in the Switch's life to date, I think Animal Crossing is going to be another one of those.
Well, I do think that's possible. I hope you're wrong for a number of reasons. I want more than just a half-step sequel with Animal Crossing, because I remember a City Folk I got bored with pretty quick because of that. Mm-hmm. And unlike those other sequels you mentioned, those were kind of going from Wii U to Switch and not 3DS to Switch.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, so I'm hoping there's more to Animal Crossing than just kind of like a little addition to City Folk.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, Animal Crossing New Leaf Amiibo Edition, or whatever the final.
Welcome Amiibo, I think.
Welcome Amiibo, yeah.
I saw a fake leak today that called the new Animal Crossing title New Branch. So Animal Crossing instead of New Leaf is New Branch. I think that's cute.
That's cute, and I think it's that may be more accurate than we think, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Other Animal Crossing predictions. Joel Aponte predicting Animal Crossing 3 for October. So one of us is going to be wrong. And Lemonade saying Animal Crossing will have an online feature that everyone is disappointed with.
I think the online in that game is going to have to do something somewhat decent in order to encourage the subscription of Nintendo Switch Online.
So here's an idea. Here's an idea for something Nintendo will never do, but would be really cool. You know the wonder trading in Pokemon where you send out a random Pokemon and you get a random Pokemon back? Well, what if there was an Animal Crossing feature where you sort of elect to go to someone else's town at the same time they would go to your town? So it's kind of like it's an opt-in. So it's like, I'd like to go see another town. and then you will go to one of the towns of all the other people who at that moment have selected, I want to go to another town. So it's going to be Animal Crossing, but randos.
Well, what I tried to do with New Leaf, and it didn't work out so well, is I had another 3DS with New Leaf, and I tried to leave it open for people all the time to kind of have like an open server where you can come and visit and just do whatever you want to that town.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is, after a while of leaving it connected to the internet, it would just drop. So I'd have to keep reconnecting it to the internet. I couldn't just like leave it for days at a time.
Mm.
So I'm hoping there's like a way I could do that in this Animal Crossing.
TJ Harris in the chat room saying Animal Crossing branching out.
Yeah, I like
Nice.
that a lot.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So other patron predictions here. GX, no trailer or discussion of Metroid Prime except saying it will be 2020 at the earliest. I'd say 2020. I'd say 2021 at the earliest. The way they were talking about it, especially since it got a full reboot. Cutestifer SNES will come to the online service. In light of this week's releases, I'm hoping he's right, but I doubt it.
I think it's going to happen in September. It's like,
you think it's like an anniversary?
And then they're going to have SNES controllers they'll sell you.
Yeah.
That's not my easy prediction. That's just, I don't think we'll hear anything about that at E3.
Yeah. Andrew Brill, rare replay for Switch. I question how that would work because I'm pretty sure any game after the original Xbox ones would have to be like that would be way more porting than I think would be justified in the cost of rare replay.
Mm. What about Banjo?
I mean,
Banjo and Smash.
That rumor has popped up. I'm hoping it's not the case. I think there may be better people for that you do at E3. But if they're going to do that, then I could easily see that getting announced on Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah. And Dale, Bayonetta 3 2020. That I don't think they say that at E3, but I think we get that later in the year.
Yeah.
After Astral Chain comes out.
Yeah.
The only way I think we're going to hear about that is at E3.
I'd even say summer 2020.
Is like if it's going to be early 2020.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to hear a thing.
It just seems wacky to me, the idea of releasing two Platinum games that are that different in the same year. I think Bayonetta 3 is like next September or something, as in like 2020.
Next, like 1 year to the Friday of so I guess it'd be August 28th for of Astral Chain, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to see it because hey, Bayonetta 2 is a really good game.
It's a really good game.
All right. So from the safe predictions, we go to the risky ones. My risky prediction is that we get the Fire Emblem Three Houses DLC details, and it will basically be an expansion pass, including a prequel that will come out next year.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Doing like a Torna thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that'd be great.
Not a formal part of the prediction, but I'm also expecting some new characters in that DLC, including a well-endowed flyer named Mikala, who's also really obsessed with your teacher.
Nice.
All right. So, Justin, what did you have for a risky prediction?
This is the might happen one, medium.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Minecraft Steve is coming to Smash. He'll be revealed at the tournament and available after the direct.
Yeah, that's a reasonable one. I mean, Minecraft's been on multiple platforms already. It's clear that Nintendo's been fostering a small relationship with Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
It was Nintendo that picked the DLC characters, as far as they've said. It's not unreasonable at all to think Minecraft Steve could be a reasonable representation. Kids love Minecraft.
I know.
I mean, a lot of people do, but kids love Minecraft.
And months ago, during some like National Appreciation Day or something, Xbox tweeted out, "We really dig Smash Brothers."
Mm.
So is that some sort of hint?
Potentially. Although Dale is predicting Master Chief for Smash for Microsoft rep, and Andrew is predicting Banjo Smash DLC and Banjo 3 for Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
Yeah, I don't think that one's
That's
happening.
you don't think the band. Well, you said the Banjo and Smash part you think will, but not Banjo 3 at this point, right?
I don't think Banjo's coming to Smash. I was just goofing. I think Minecraft Steve makes a lot of sense. I think Doom Guy could potentially make sense because Nintendo's been fostering a
Doom.
relationship with Bethesda.
Yeah,
It's hard for me.
I just wonder, like, well, I mean, the Doom guy the original Doom guy was on Super Nintendo, so he does have a history on Nintendo systems.
Yeah.
Although, really, if Doom guy was to come to Smash, I would hope it would be accompanied by a port of Doom 64 or an HD remaster of that.
Mm.
Like Turok.
Yeah, kind of like that.
My turn.
All right, yeah. What do you got, Alex?
Luigi's Mansion delayed to early 2020. And I say that not knowing the Korean ratings board had Luigi's Mansion, but I'm still going to stick with it. I'm going to say Luigi's Mansion is delayed to early 2020 because of this is an argument that can also be made for Animal Crossing, but we've seen too little of Luigi's Mansion 3 to get it this fall, I feel like.
Yeah. Although,
I just don't think it's done.
Well, if it's not done, we can always hope for Arcade Archives' Luigi's Mansion to come out.
Yeah.
That would actually be really cool. Now, remind me, was Luigi's Mansion announced in the same direct that they said Animal Crossing was coming to Switch as well? Like, was it those were the two unannounced at the time games, or was Luigi's Mansion later?
No, that was the same direct. I'm like 90% positive.
Yeah, because Luigi's Mansion opened the direct and Animal Crossing closed it, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why those games are always joined at the hip. But I think there was enough. I think we actually had gameplay of Luigi's Mansion, if I'm remembering it correctly here. So that's another reason why I'm leaning toward Animal Crossing being the one to slip. But I mean, and Lemonade's with you on this one, Alex. He's also got Luigi's Mansion 3 in 2020.
Nice. That's my boy. All right.
Yeah, and other patron predictions, Dan. Samus Returns HD. That would be. I mean, if you're not going to do the trilogy on Switch, then hey, that's a decent palette filler until Prime 4 actually is a thing.
I think the trilogy will come to Switch. Maybe not this year. Maybe early next year. It's kind of like a gap filler in a lineup or something.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a Fusion port. I think a Metroid Fusion one would be nice. What?
What about Metroid 5?
Yeah, I'd love to see Metroid 5 because Samus is like a fugitive on the run now. So and we've been waiting over a decade to find out what's going to happen next in the story, and it's about time we find out. Is Nintendo just afraid of Samus's fusion suit not being marketable enough? Is that it?
I'd be shocked if that was the reason. Let's see. GX other risky prediction: Monster Hunter in some form that isn't World announced for Switch. I can't imagine what that would be unless they're going to say it's Monster Hunter 5.
They wouldn't do that. Monster Hunter World is Monster Hunter 5.
Yeah, and they've got stuff coming for that this year anyway. Cutestifer new mini console announced, and it's a portable, like Game Boy Color or GBA. I mean, I'm very hesitant on any hardware because Nintendo has said they're not bringing any hardware to E3.
Yeah, and usually those mini consoles aren't announced at E3, so I don't think we'll see it at E3. But this would be a great year for the Game Boy to have something because it's the 30th anniversary.
30th anniversary. Yeah. I mean, but yeah, those things get announced in press release.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and keeping on the portable front, Joel says A Nintendo published 3DS game is announced this week and released in 2019, presumably.
I wouldn't put money on that.
There was that one, like those Amazon UK listings. They had like 16 Switch games and a 3DS game for some reason.
What is it? 3DS
That
life support the game.
It's that
Um,
it's that eye testing game that's on the eShop for $100.
there, given it, I did not realize this the day that came out, but apparently that actual test that they're using the 3DS to recreate normally costs $500 or $600. So there might actually be a reason to have that.
Okay.
At the very least, you can bring it portably. All right. Now the gloves come off. The absolutely insane predictions.
Okay. Donald,
All
what's
right.
yours?
A new Mario 3D platformer will be announced and will have a release date prior to June of next year.
I think that is insanely risky because E3 I don't think usually goes that far anymore because of the directs. But except in
Well,
circumstances.
last year they had what? Daemon X Machina was the lead off game of the show. And I figure they can lead off this year that because I'm starting to get like Galaxy vibes, and remember how they announced Galaxy 2? It was announced at it was the main event game at E3 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And it was out May of the following year.
I think you're not
Maybe they go
but maybe.
that was the nature of their prediction. So what are you thinking, Justin?
I don't know how insane this is, but Call of Duty will be coming to Switch. But the asterisk is it's going to be Call of Duty Mobile. So maybe that tones down the insanity of this. But
Well, I mean, you would go from oh my god, Call of Duty's coming to Switch to wait, they're putting the mobile game on Switch. Riot.
yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. So it's maybe not the craziest, but I think it'll piss people off.
Wait.
All right. And
Why wouldn't they just do Modern Warfare scaled down? Do you think the Switch couldn't handle it?
I just don't think they want to bother scaling it down.
Mm.
yeah, I mean, Infinity Ward did some pretty good stuff with Ghosts on the Wii U, but I don't think they've got the development bandwidth, nor does Activision care enough to shrink down the Modern Warfare reboot like that.
Got it.
Although they could easily just port Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare to Switch, and I think more people would play that.
Yeah. Fair point. All right. So it's up to me. All right. My wouldn't it be great if sort of prediction is maybe one that I made last year. I just really want it to happen. Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade Chronicles X announced as Switch ports. 2 different packages, but they will be announced at the same time. One for late 2019, one for early or mid 2020.
Because we know Monolith is working on something for Switch, but it could be. I mean, with them, it could be anything from a Xenoblade export to the next friggin' Zelda.
Well, they were trying to make some adult theme action game or something. That's what the producer of the Xenoblade series was saying, right? I'm not making that up.
I think he did say he wanted to do something different for the next game. It sounded like something like that, I think.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly.
But Donald, I know you're going to be happy with X coming out.
Yeah. I would love to replay X again.
I'll handle
and have it on a. Yeah, I want to play it portably on a screen that I can actually read the text on.
Nice.
That's what the Zoom feature is for.
Yeah. No, I don't. I tried. Like I brought my Wii U to work, my job at the time, a couple of times when I was reviewing Xenoblade X. I couldn't see. Like I could not read the text on the gamepad. So I need that high res screen on the Switch. All right, and some of the other insane predictions that we have here. There's several people who gave us two, so I'll just run through them both quickly here. Dan, Star Fox Grand Prix or whatever Retro was working on prior to getting put on Prime 4 is revealed.
That's
Do
possible.
we see, like, are we seeing Retro at the C3, or are we waiting until Prime 4 is out?
If Nintendo thinks Star Fox Grand Prix is presentable and sellable and marketable, they'll be at E3 to push it out, I think. But if not, you're not seeing Retro for a long time till Metroid's done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I actually do think that's within the realm of possibility.
Yeah. Other one from Dan. Rayman Origins / Legends team does Donkey Kong Country.
I don't think that's happening.
No. I mean, they have experience with Donkey Kong, but I don't think that particular team is even still around, and I think they scrapped the engine. But man, how weird would it be to see an UbiArt engine used on Donkey Kong?
It'd be pretty good, I think. I think it would be an eShop game, but I think it'd be a good idea.
Yeah. GX, a Nintendo video service, including the Pokemon anime, other Nintendo IP shows, and a new Fire Emblem anime and a Splatoon anime in production for it, would be separate from Switch Online but discounted.
We need an ARMS anime.
Well, I think there was supposed to be an ARMS graphic novel coming out. It was supposed to come out months ago, but I haven't heard anything about it in a very long time.
Yeah. I just want them to put those two Fire Emblem OVAs from the mid-90s on there.
I think Splatoon could actually have a show and be all right.
I'm just trying to... I guess... I don't know if they'd, follow around Marina Pearl Marie?
I think they could just follow around one of the agents or make a new agent.
Yeah. Other suggestion, other crazy prediction from GX. Official voice chat plus game audio peripheral announce. You still need the app, but it connects with via USB wireless dongle to Switch and Bluetooth to phone and mixes the audio.
No.
Nope.
I feel like you're only to have something like this is for a Switch Pro or something like that.
Yeah. And actually, Cutsfer's his crazy prediction was new Switch model announced supports voice chat without the app, which the original Switch can do that now. I mean, there is that API that started with use with Fortnite that you can do it without the app. Lemonade, Mario 3D World ported to 3DS. That would break the internet, I think.
No, 3DS I think is just toast. It's done. This is it. You're not going to see 3DS next year. 3DS is going to coast till the end of this year. It might not even make it to the end of this year, honestly.
I think the only relevant game coming out on it at this point, now that Persona Q2 is out, is Shakedown Hawaii. And that'll probably do about as well as Retro City Rampage did on the Wii when it came out. Another one from Lemonade. Sea of Thieves for Switch uses Xbox Live and supports no app voice chat.
That's a little wishful, I'd say. I went down a mini rabbit hole when we were talking about the ARMS graphic novel, and I actually intended to pick that up when I heard about it last year because I think ARMS lore is surprisingly interesting. It might be because it's like the boxing sort of vibe, but I was very interested in the lore of ARMS. So I looked up the ARMS graphic novel, and it was gone, wiped from Amazon. Like, could not find a pre-order page. And then I went to the ARMS Institute wiki, And it says ARMS is an upcoming graphic novel series based on the Nintendo Switch game of the same name. The series will be published by Dark Horse Nintendo and is written by Ian Flynn. The first full issue is planned to be released in fall 2018, but it was changed to January 2019. After that, the comic was delayed to a later point in time with no official date released. No reasons were given as to the comic's delayed public release. Maybe it'll be a shadow drop.
Though I think there is a sample of the comic that was handed out on Free Comic Book Day last year.
Yep, that is something.
I'd love to have.
Yeah. Let's see here. Andrew's crazy prediction: Master Chief in Smash and Master Chief Collection on Switch. Is the relationship between Nintendo and Microsoft that good? Or is this just like never going to happen? Because putting Halo on Switch seems like putting like Mario on PlayStation.
I don't think it's that bad, but I don't know. I think if we learn more about what this Nintendo Microsoft relationship is at E3, it'd be easier to judge. We're still kind of in the dark on things right now, so it's hard to predict.
Yeah. Dale, Cyberpunk 2077 is coming to Switch. I'm tempted to say that there's a CD Projekt Red game coming to Switch, but I don't think it's Cyberpunk.
You think it's Witcher 3?
I'm seeing way too much smoke around The Witcher 3, including the voice actor hyping it now. That I think we get Witcher 3, and I get to use that Geralt in the pool in the bathtub picture on every news post for it. It's gonna be fantastic. And Joel, Apex Legends for Switch before the end of the year. Speaking of shooters that could come to Switch. But I would think if they were going to do that, like if they were going to announce that, they would be telling us to actually go to EA Play, and they're not.
It could be something they announce, but it's just not going to be in a playable form yet.
It could be in the Direct. I don't see why it couldn't be. And then it could be like the Fortnite, how that happened after a short after presentation.
Yeah, but I feel like if the game's not ready to be played, they might save it for a Direct and be like a shadow drop thing at a later date.
I mean, we had there was eShop uploads before Fortnite came out saying yes, Fortnite's coming. We haven't seen anything like that to this point on Apex Legends.
Yeah. Did anyone have a prediction about Cadence of Hyrule coming out shortly after the Nintendo Direct?
I don't think nobody predicted that I saw, but I posted that right after the Bit Summit announcement that it was coming out June 20th in Japan. So that's probably the date we're looking at.
Okay. So maybe they'll say and it'll be available in 1 week. You don't have to wait long.
It's like 8 Treehouse Live segments on it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what the second segment on Treehouse Live is going to be this year. Because I mean, last year it was all Smash, but 2 years ago that's when they dropped Samus Returns on us.
I'm just hoping Treehouse Live just turns into Don James Live.
Do they have anything left that they could bust out for Don James at that point?
There's a lot of arcade Nintendo games that haven't been released. We could get some Monkey Magic, Radar Scope. Start pulling all sorts of fun things out.
There's a reason they buried Radar Scope because it nearly sank the company in North America.
Yeah, but at least that game released here. I mean, Sky Skipper. Come on. I mean, to me, it's more of a historical curiosity, and I'd love to see Radar Scope released. So, because I've never seen a Radar Scope machine, because I'm pretty sure almost all of them got converted into Donkey Kong. So, I'd love to play Radar Scope as an arcade archives.
Yeah, and Cherry Goblin, I'll make the obligatory Mother 3 prediction. Mother 3 is not coming out. And if I ask Doug Bowser about it, I will legitimately get a fireball to the face.
No, you should ask him about it.
What if The real Mother 3 was the friends you made along the way. That's I think that's a decent signal to maybe end the show.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think anything else we will see next week. So, just to give a heads up here, as for what we're going to be doing as the road team in LA, that's going to depend on the internet situation where we're staying at, but we are hoping we'll be putting up some video blogs throughout the week, sort of like what John did with PAX East. And we're hoping to do, not necessarily giant bomb style, have people in on the couch all night, but definitely we'll try to do some streaming out of the house on what we just have to check the bandwidth there to see what it's going to be like. And hopefully it's good enough that we can justify, having, a video stream going on there. So keep an eye on the NWR Twitter, twitter.com/Nintendo_NWR, or my own Twitter feed at NWR Donald. We'll be talking about that throughout once we have that sorted out. We're all going to the Bethesda party or the Bethesda conference on Sunday night, and I believe we have somebody going to Ubisoft on Monday. To the best of my knowledge, Square Enix is a direct style thing. I have not heard anything about an invite to a venue for Square Enix. So that's probably going to be in video form. So we should be able to hopefully do something on Monday night, looking back at the first date, looking back at Monday, and one last preview of Nintendo before it all breaks down on Tuesday. And then from there, we'll have wall-to-wall coverage of E3 as much as we can. We've got 5 people going this year. So, and 3 of them are rookies. And thankfully, we have Jared, who's been to like 11 E3s.
Mm-hmm.
This really is 11th. He's going to surpass me this year.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Dale, it'll be me. It'll be myself, Jared, Brian, Matt, and Joe are the 5 people going this year. And we'll have stuff on as many nights as we can from E3, whether on blog or something like this. Radio Free Nintendo will be on Tuesday night, I believe at 9 Eastern for their E3 wrap-up show. And if that's the case, then we're going to be jumping in probably as soon as that's over. We'll go live.
Nice.
All right.
Yes.
So
if you're watching E3 from home and you love the site, I'm pretty sure Carmine's going to have some giveaways running on the site, and then there might be some special giveaways if you're on our Discord server, like 2 separate giveaways. So make sure you join that server. And now that there's nitro boosting for our server, consider doing that too, so we can get more custom icons and fun stuff.
Yeah, that Discord is especially going to be popping Tuesday during the direct, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely go in there, hang out. I'll probably be in there most of the day. I don't know what's going on, so I took the day off. I should be around.
Yeah, and the home team will be up. We do have somebody who will be doing my usual job at E3 of monitoring Treehouse Live for any late breaking news. So look forward to a lot of news posts from Carmine during the next week.
Nice.
Yeah, because he's the one who is going to be the one sitting down watching with the laptop at the ready, I assume.
Excellent.
All right. So again, patreon.com/NWR, support the site that supports us. And I like that we were able to get some feedback from the patrons this week, and I think we'll probably be doing a little bit more of that as warranted. And we've got the whole redesigned Patreon, including free stuff if you were kind enough to help support us to certain points. Of course, the mothership is NintendoWorldReport.com. All kinds of news, reviews. I have a review for the last 3DS retail game of any relevance.
Is it good?
It's real good.
And you don't need to play the first one to enjoy it, right?
No, trust me, the first one retcons itself at the end, so you go in the second one fresh. Although I do recommend playing you may want to play a bit bit of the Persona 5 first, or at least look it up, because because you get everybody in the party, and I mean everybody.
If I leave auto mapping on, will it feel like a Persona game?
It'll feel like a Persona game.
Okay, cool. Check.
They're in nerf form, and hey, you get the female main character from Persona 3, the actual main character.
Nice. Go read Donald's review. It's great. I'm sure.
Justin, you were saying something?
No, I didn't say anything. I don't
All
think.
right.
All right.
It's late. Maybe I did. I don't know.
All right.
I'm ready to go to bed. Sorry.
So NintendoWorldReport.com. If you want to follow us on the social media, like I said, I'm at NWR Donald. I will probably have to change my pinned tweet sometime before the weekend's over. Justin is at King Nintendo Fan.
Yep.
And Alex is at CULAFIA Kulafia.
That's right.
Oh God! And now we're dabbing. We definitely need to get out of here. So thank you very much for
Dab
watching,
Daddy.
and we will see you. We will see you next week sometime.
Bye.
Let the madness begin.